Do we have any questions, or of course you can always get ready to dance.
I have a question that
Sure.
I don't know if it's a silly question or not, but for the fennel, you mentioned that it's not recommended during pregnancy for a couple of reasons. Is there any impact on something like birth control, like the pill, or
No,
oh,
don't, yeah, no effect. But that's a really good question. And there are herbs like St. John's wort, for example, that does affect the efficacy of birth control. So that's actually a very valid concern.
excellent.
I did
Thanks.
not know that about St. John's wort. That is
Yeah, it is contraindicated with so many medications, and basically because of its effect on our cytochrome P450 enzyme, which basically metabolizes a lot of medications. It's not that it's a bad herb; it just that it happens. That's what it likes to do in our body.
amazing.
Yeah.
All right. This is super helpful. I have so many stomach issues. I feel like I need some of all of this.
Welcome to Corona land.
Stress stomach. Actually, I'll ask you a fairly specific question. I started having gallbladder issues about a month ago, or maybe 2 months ago, kind of out of nowhere. Which one of these would be the most
Chamomile,
appropriate?
or
Chamomile.
or just any bitters, and
Okay.
methionine. I mean, like methionine, choline, as far as some other ox bile could be also. There's some pretty good products out there.
Great, because I really want to try something like this before I have surgery.
But
You
yeah,
know, if I don't have to have surgery, I would like to not do that. So this is great. We will send out some information to sort of recap what you just heard, because it's a lot to take in at one time. So we'll send out an email to catch you up on things. Dr. Ivy, are you open to sharing slides if people want to see slides and things like that? Okay, great. And I will also speak to, obviously you get a little taste of what Dr. Ivy is capable of and what she can change in your life with the work she does. I will tell you from personal experience, I started working with her probably 2 years ago, a year or 2 years. I don't know, but completely changed some hormonal stuff for me, and some period issues and mood issues and some pretty severe hormonal related depression and anxiety. And I would have had no clue that something like a vitamin would make such a drastic difference in my mood and my temperament. So highly recommend, if you have any questions or any health concerns, especially the ones that we didn't cover in this particular session, that you reach out to Dr. Ivy and set up some time, because she's a lifesaver.
Thank you, Kacey.
So, yeah, thanks for being here.
With Kacey, that's why I'm here.
This is fun. So anything else, any other questions or anything else anybody wants to put in before we shift into dance and movement time? Sarah?
Sarah, go ahead. I have one after you.
Okay, sorry. What is the best way to take the fennel?
Fennel?
Yeah.
There's not really any, like, with the fennel, there's definitely no way that's better than the other. I mean, if you're doing the tea, you definitely want to use like about a tablespoon of the seeds to about 8 to 6 ounces of boiling water. Let it steep for at least 15 minutes. But the tinctures and the glycerites are also perfect if that's like easier, if you're like out and about traveling. It's also having a combination, I mentioned this too, it goes very well with peppermint. Like it's a very classic combination for gas and bloating.
And if we're drinking these as teas, is it okay to add lemon juice to it?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
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 Okay. Thank you.
You had mentioned somewhere in the beginning around urinary tract health. Mm-hmm. And I was dealing with a UTI a couple months ago, and feel like occasionally I still am sort of like dealing with the repercussions of that. Is there one of these or something that you would recommend specifically that could be helpful in in that?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of herbs. Maybe actually, next time we could even. So the marshmallow root can help with the soothing and healing. So I guess the big thing is like if you know that the bacteria is definitely not present.
Yeah.
But, the marshmallow can definitely help soothe if the bacteria isn't present. If there is still bacteria present, my favorite product out there is UT Vibrance crisis formula. Mix it with unsweetened cranberry juice. Just follow what the container says. Anytime you have a UTI, the only thing with that product is you actually cannot use it more than about 3 times a year. So even though herbs are kind of safe, some herbs are herbs that we just are like a sometimes herb and we don't use them that often. But
Interesting.
that product really, it's like a lifesaver. It's a real game changer.
Can you spell it for me?
So it's UT, like UT Austin.
Okay.
UT Vibrance, crisis formula. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it at like most supplement stores.
Okay.
The powder, don't get the capsules.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
They're not paying me to say that.
Great.
One more question. If you literally just answered this, I apologize, but I'm thinking of the chamomile tea that we have in our cupboard right now, and it's just like some, store-bought Kroger traditional medicinals tea or something like that, or yogi tea or one of those kinds of things. Are those actually effective at all, or
Yeah, actually.
do you need to make your own?
Right. So sometimes like herb quality is like super important. In this case, when it's chamomile just for digestion, it's not so. I mean, obviously, you don't want something that's like has weird chemicals in it. Like I'm not a big fan of celestial seasonings because they put soy in a lot of their teas. This is a FYI. I do really like the traditional medicinal brand and the yogi. There's also Gaia, and then there's it's like I see the box. I think it's called like Althea, or it's like a white box that you see like at Whole Foods. So those are always like very reputable brands. They don't put anything funky. They're always organic. But I mean, in a pinch, like if you were like you're at like an Airbnb and they just happen to have like some random chamomile and you're really suffering, it'll probably give you some relief.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. This is amazing. If any other questions come up, feel free to email. And like I said, we'll send something out that's a little recap of some of this information. And of course, if you have questions for either one of us after tonight, totally open and willing to be a resource for whatever you might need.